Welcome to my channel, Starlight Sci-Fi. Story, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The royal palace of Arthuria floated high above the clouds of the colony world. From a distance it looked like a shining crystal island suspended in the sky. Tall silver towers reflected the blue light of the planet's artificial sun, and hundreds of small transport ships moved slowly between landing platforms like glowing insects. Inside the palace, everything was calm and quiet, too calm. Marcus Hale stood beside the entrance of the grand diplomatic chamber, wearing the dark armor of the royal guard. His helmet rested under his arm, and his posture was perfectly straight, exactly the way palace protocol demanded. Marcus was human, and that made him unusual. Most members of the royal guard belonged to the queen species, the Aryans. They were taller than humans, with smooth silver skin and long curved ears that helped them hear even the smallest sound. Their golden eyes could see perfectly in darkness. They were faster than humans, stronger than humans, and according to many aliens in the galaxy, far superior to humans. Marcus had heard those opinions many times before. He simply ignored them. Across the hall, two Aryan guards whispered quietly to each other. Marcus did not need to hear their words to guess the topic. The human guard, to them, Marcus was a curiosity, a strange creature from a dangerous little planet called Earth. Humans were known for surviving harsh environments, but they were not considered impressive in advanced alien society. At least not yet. Inside the diplomatic chamber, a meeting had been going on for nearly 3 hours. Ambassadors from multiple star systems were gathered to discuss trade routes, defense treaties, and political alliances. Their voices echoed softly through the tall chamber doors. Marcus stood perfectly still. He had been guarding royal meetings for 4 years now. He knew that diplomacy mostly involved long conversations about extremely complicated topics that rarely interested soldiers. Behind him, the crystal wall of the corridor revealed a breathtaking view of the colony world. Far below, massive atmosphere generators floated above the horizon. Each machine was as large as a city, glowing softly while maintaining the fragile climate of the planet. Without those machines, the colony would slowly lose its breathable air. Millions of lives depended on them. Marcus had studied the generators many times while standing guard. Snort's soldiers often spent long hours observing things. Sometimes that habit saved lives. Chamber doors suddenly opened. The meeting had ended. Several alien diplomats stepped out, speaking politely to one another, while palace attendants guided them toward the transport platforms. Marcus remained silent and still. Finally, Queen Elra emerged from the chamber. She walked with calm confidence, her silver robes moving gently behind her. The crown of Arthuria rested lightly upon her head, and her golden eyes scanned the hallway with quiet awareness. Even after centuries of rule, she noticed everything. Marcus respected that. The queen paused briefly as she passed the guards. Her eyes moved across each soldier in silent inspection. For a moment her gaze rested on Marcus. Then she nodded slightly and continued walking. It was a small gesture, but Marcus understood what it meant. She trusted her guards. Marcus returned his attention to the corridor. That was when he noticed something strange. At the far end of the hall near the upper maintenance balcony, a technician was adjusting a control panel. Normally, palace technicians moved slowly and carefully during royal events. This one did not. The figure was moving quickly. Too quickly. Marcus narrowed his eyes slightly. Something felt wrong. The technician stepped forward for a brief second. Marcus saw something metallic slide out from behind the console. A weapon. Marcus reacted instantly. DWN, he shouted. The moment his voice echoed through the corridor, a bright blue plasma bolt fired from the balcony. The energy blast streaked through the air toward Queen Elra. Everything happened in a single second. Alien guards turned. Diplomats screamed. Marcus moved. He did not think about the distance. He did not calculate survival chances. He simply stepped forward. 1 step, 2 steps, clears throat. Marcus placed himself directly between the queen and the incoming plasma shot. The blast struck him in the chest. White light exploded across the hallway. The force threw Marcus backward onto the polished floor, his armor smoking from the impact. Pain spread through his body. Like fire, guards rushed toward the balcony, weapons activated. Several soldiers leapt upward, using their armor thrusters. The assassin tried to escape. He did not succeed. Within seconds, palace security tackled the attacker and pinned him to the ground, but Marcus barely saw any of that. His vision was fading. Ceiling lights blurred into soft circles above him. Then someone knelt beside him. Queen Elra. Her calm expression had vanished. For the first time, Marcus saw something else in her golden eyes. Fear. Marcus, she said urgently. Marcus tried to respond, but breathing felt difficult. The plasma had nearly burned through his armor. Medical drones rushed into the hallway, their scanners glowing. As they examined his injuries, one of the drones spoke in a mechanical voice. Severe trauma detected. Survival probability decreasing. Several guards moved closer, unsure what to do, but the queen made a decision. She placed both hands gently against Marcus' chest armor, her eyes closed. The soldiers nearby immediately understood what she was about to do, and they froze because what she was about to activate had not been used in centuries. A faint golden light appeared beneath her hands. Energy flowed slowly through her palms and into Marcus' body. Drones reacted immediately. Unknown biological signal detected. The queen opened her eyes. Her long ears tilted slightly as she focused her energy. This human saved my life, she said quietly. The golden light grew brighter. By the ancient laws of my people, a life debt must be honored. The nearest guard looked shocked. Your Majesty, the bond is forbidden. Not forbidden, Elra replied calmly. Forgotten. Marcus felt warmth spreading through his chest. The burning pain slowly faded. Soft golden lines of light appeared across his armor, forming a faint pattern that connected his body to the queen's hands. The drone scanned the energy again. New biological link detected. One drone announced, healing acceleration active. Around them, the palace corridor had gone completely silent. Every guard, diplomat, and servant was staring at the glowing connection between the queen and the human soldier, because everyone understood what it meant. The Queen of Althuria had just formed a life bond with a human. Sacred biological connection, normally reserved only for the most honored warriors of her species. Marcus tried to speak again, "Your Majesty," but his strength was fading fast, the last thing he saw before darkness closed around him was the Queen. Leaning closer, her voice was calm but filled with quiet determination. "You protected me," she whispered. "Now I will protect you." The golden light continued to glow as Marcus finally lost consciousness. And across the entire palace, rumors had already begun spreading. For the first time in history, an alien queen had bonded her life to human soldier, and no one in the galaxy yet understood what that would mean. Marcus Hale woke slowly. At first he thought he was floating. His body felt warm and heavy. At the same time, soft light filled the room around him, and he could hear the quiet humming of machines. For several seconds he simply stared at the ceiling, then the memories returned. Balcony, the plasma shot the Queen. Marcus suddenly tried to sit up. Pain shot through his chest and several medical drones rushed toward him. Immediately, patient movement detected, one drone said calmly. "Please remain still," Marcus groaned and leaned back against the bed. "Good," he muttered. "That means I'm still alive." The room around him slowly came into focus. He was inside the royal medical chamber. Smooth white walls curved gently overhead, and large windows revealed the floating towers of Etheria. Outside, several drones hovered nearby, scanning his body, and someone else was in the room. Queen Elra sat beside the bed. Her posture was calm, but Marcus noticed something unusual. Her hand was resting lightly on his arm. The moment Marcus noticed that, he also noticed something else. Thin golden lines of light ran across the medical patches on his chest. The glowing energy moved slowly, pulsing in soft waves. And one of those lines connected directly to the Queen's hand. Marcus blinked. "That seems new," he said carefully. Queen Elra looked up. "You are awake," she said. Her voice sounded calmer than before, but Marcus could still hear relief in it. Marcus glanced down at the glowing lines again. "I feel like a glowing science project." One of the medical drones floated closer. "Correction," the drone said cheerfully. "You are participating in an active biological healing bond." Marcus stared at the drone. "That sentence raises many questions." The Queen sighed quietly. "My people possess a rare ability," she explained. "When someone saves our life, we can form a temporary biological connection to accelerate healing." Marcus looked at her. "And that's what happened?" "Yes." Marcus stared at the glowing lines again, then he slowly looked back at her. "So, if I understand this correctly," he pointed weakly at the connection between them, "you're basically my life support system right now." The drone hummed happily. "Accurate summary." Marcus closed his eyes for a moment. "Fantastic." Queen Elra almost smiled. Before she could answer, the medical chamber door suddenly opened. Two palace guards rushed inside. Both stopped immediately when they saw the scene. Marcus lying in bed, the Queen sitting beside him, their hands connected by glowing golden energy. The guard stared. Marcus stared back. "This is medically necessary," Marcus said quickly. The guards looked even more confused. Queen Elra calmly stood. "What news do you bring?" The captain stepped forward. "We have identified the assassin." Marcus sat up slightly. "Good." The captain hesitated before speaking again. "The weapon used in the attack belongs to the Karth Dominion." The room became silent. Marcus slowly looked toward the Queen, the Karth. Dominion, that name sounded familiar. Then he remembered, they're the Empire. You're supposed to marry into, Marcus said. Queen Elra did not respond. Immediately, her golden eyes grew colder. Yes. Marcus leaned back against the bed. Well, he said quietly, that seems like an important detail. The captain nodded. We are still investigating, but this suggests the alliance may not be trustworthy. Marcus frowned slightly. Something about the situation felt wrong. He looked toward the window where the massive atmosphere generators floated in the distance. A sudden thought appeared in his mind. Marcus sat up again. The generators, he said. Guards looked confused. What about them? Marcus pointed toward the horizon. If someone wanted to weaken this colony, they wouldn't just assassinate the Queen. He looked back at them. They would destroy the atmosphere generators. The room went silent again. Queen Elra's ears tilted slightly. You believe this attack was only the beginning? Marcus nodded slowly. If the colony loses those generators, millions of people die. Captain immediately activated a communication panel. Alert the defense fleet, he ordered. Deploy ships to the generator stations. The response came seconds later. Too late. Everyone turned toward the speaker. Unknown vessels detected near the generator array. Marcus sighed. Yeah, he said, that's about right. The Queen turned to him. You predicted this? Marcus shrugged. Humans come from a dangerous planet. We get used to thinking about worst-case scenarios. Within minutes, transport ships were launching from the palace. Marcus insisted on joining the response team. The medical drones protested loudly. Patient recovery incomplete. Marcus ignored them. If those generators fall, this entire world dies, he said. Queen Elra stood beside him. The bond requires proximity, she said. Calmly, Marcus looked at her. So you're coming too? Yes, Marcus sighed. Well, he said, this is definitely the strangest mission I've ever been on. The defense fleet reached the generator array quickly. Several large enemy ships surrounded the massive machines. Energy weapons were already firing. The battle had begun. Alien commanders hesitated, calculating battle strategies. Marcus did not board their flagship, he said. The commanders looked shocked. That is extremely dangerous. Marcus shrugged. Welcome to human strategy. Minutes later, a small strike team launched toward the enemy flagship. Inside the ship, enemy soldiers quickly realized something unexpected. Humans did not fight like other species. Marcus moved fast. He adapted. He improvised. Within minutes, the strike team reached the main reactor. Marcus planted explosives. Time to leave, he said. Calmly, the team escaped seconds before the enemy flagship exploded in a massive burst of light. Without their command ship, the remaining enemy vessels retreated. The atmosphere generators were safe. The colony world survived. Hours later, Marcus stood on the palace balcony, looking out across the peaceful sky. Queen Elra joined him. The colony owes you its survival, she said. Marcus shook his head. I was just doing my job. She studied him for a moment. Your species is unusual, she said. Quietly, Marcus smiled slightly. We hear that a lot. The golden glow of the healing bond slowly faded between them. The connection had completed its purpose. Marcus felt the last trace of warmth disappear. Queen Elra looked toward the horizon. Today, she said softly, the galaxy learned something important. Marcus crossed his arms. What's that? She looked at him. That humans are not weak. Marcus smiled. Yeah, he said. We've been trying to tell everyone. That, far above the planet, the stars shine quietly. And somewhere out in the galaxy, powerful empires were beginning to realize something new. Humanity had finally stepped onto the galactic stage, and the universe would never underestimate them again. The end.